welcome everyone to Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Service, where we are on CAN TV Live. If you go to your www.cantv hotline, you will see us live right there. If not, there'll be plays of this online. But we hope that you can get a chance to watch us. YouTube will have it there for CAN TV, but we hope you're seeing this live. You may call in as long as we're here, 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060. I am Sister Ya, your favorite community epidemiologist. I'm here with Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. And if you do make that call, you'll be talking to Mr. Charles Patton, who is the Vice President of Tacts and Life Partners. So we are here today to deal with issues. It is actually, I will date this particular episode, it's November 21st. It's the day before Thanksgiving. I know you all are saying, she didn't say it right. I did that purposely because somebody took some heat and then y'all went and ate. I don't celebrate it, but I'm appreciative of being thankful that we're still having time off work paid. It's a day, it's a holiday that is actually a made up holiday. People don't know that. It was actually November 30th when the actual massacre happened and they had the feast is what they called it at the time. That was November 30th. It was not November 23rd. November 23rd was only put here by our president. I believe it was Roosevelt or one of the presidents who changed it so that you would have 3 weeks to talk about Christmas, another made-up holiday. But nevertheless, people are excited because they gonna get to eating, honey. If you start talking about the ham and the turkey and the chicken and the meats, I'm gonna start telling you, please be a little mindful of healthy. And guess what? We just found out I think it was romaine lettuce just had an outbreak. So even the vegetarians got to be careful with everything we eat. So we're going to put the right energy in the right space. And that's what this particular session is about. We're Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, as you can see. And we promote diversity in clinical trials research. This is just some of our team members that have worked with us over time. And we continue to want to talk about them as us being a part of clinical trials research. Again, what is our main topic? We're always going to promote health equity. Equity is not equality. Equity means that we get what we need, what we're needed for, not what we just across one board. So I know a lot of people think about equity and equality, but they think it's the same, and it is not. The reason that I'm promoting health equity every week is because we feel that the component of health equity that's missing from the conversation is where it says the community capacity building component. Now, we got policy in the mix, we got industry in the mix, but we don't have the community capacity building, and that's the part that I want to promote for Tacts to you. Community capacity building is that, first of all, understand the definition of health equity. Ask for what you want until you get it. So we don't want to keep saying health disparities because everybody talks about what isn't, what's not, where you can't be, where you're dismayed, you're despaired, you're dysfunctional. Everything is a dis. I'm going to change the paradigm to an inversive relationship and say, well, everything is an attraction, and I'm going to attract what it is that I want, and I want equity, not equality. I want what I need it to be so I can be healthy and vibrant and spirit-filled and experience this life as the Most High has given us to experience. So that's what health equity is all about. And we really want to, unfortunately, we have to focus on a topic that we need to bring to you, and that is talking about domestic violence. We had a horrific shooting here in the city of Chicago at Mercy Hospital, where some of our events have taken place for many years. Dr. Tamara O'Neal, we are paying homage to you, my sister. Unfortunately, she was murdered by her ex-fiance, who felt the need to escalate a bad situation. They broke up, and he did it in such a way that he took our life and his own. and two or three others actually, so it wasn't just hers. I am dealing with domestic violence today, not because I wanted to, but because I felt that it was appropriate to, as we, talk about being thankful. And here it is. We got to be thankful for our lives, and that the relationships that we have, we hope are meaningful relationships, are uplifting relationships. I was just told by my life partner, who says you can either be motivated or you could be frustrated. And right now I'm frustrated, because I'm frustrated that this sister and others are going through so many tragedies and inequities. I'm wondering, when you say being thankful, how does their lives impact us being thankful? This woman was bright, sunny. She was an ER doctor, y'all. She did it. She helped people. She gave her life to make sure that others would be well in the ER. And here it is. Her life gets taken by a person who, unfortunately, when you look at his background, things didn't work out so well for him. And then eventually didn't work out well for her, because she broke off the marriage engagement. And that's to say that there are telltale signs. This doesn't happen overnight. We really got to start being better about our mental first aid. I talked about that last month, and again, it's not to think that that's going to be the only answer, because it's not, but it's one of many. It adds to where we are. What can you do? Well, look for those red flags, as we call them. Red flags, white flags, whatever flag. Look for those signs that a person is not well with themselves. He did that to her because he was hurt. Remember, this is about pain. Hurt people hurt people. And how do we deal with someone is hurting and they want to take it out on you? Well, that action didn't just happen then. And maybe there's nothing we could have ever done to prevent it, but maybe someone else could have intervened at an earlier time and found out that this man's heart was not full and whole. Because see, a person that is whole and happy and content don't hurt other people. They don't have a need to. But he had a need to do this to her. And like I said, there were a few others, radiologists, a pharmacologist, and some others in the hospital that he did this to, and then a police officer walking in the door. So again, hurt people, and my heart goes out to her because tonight the memorial is being held at Mercy Hospital. And no, I didn't go because I'm here with you today, but I am bereaved about that. Also found out somebody else, not that I know them, but a person had a heart attack and just died. I mean, instantly. And so we need to be thankful for more than just getting some damn turkey. I'm canned TV. I don't think I'm supposed to curse, but we can't just think it's not about turkey. It's not about how much food you can put in your mouth. We need to be uplifting the spirits of people, y'all. And that's something we can do, with health equity. We can lift up the spirits of people's hearts and minds. As you putting that food in your mouth, put some substance with it. Give some light. Take away some of this darkness that's surrounding us in our mindsets. Have some conversations with people that's real talk. And guess what? Even if you do have to be a little delusional, provide some love and caring in there. You may not care about them as much, or you may not love them the way you think you should, but at least provide the avenue that they are not alone and that their lives matter, and that being hurt is not something you have to stay. I'm going to read this quote that was given to us. We need to use public health approach to address violence, using data to guide interventions and justified common sense laws and regulations. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of this because, of course, you know what the obvious is, right? Why did he have a gun? He was a card-carrying gun owner legitimately, you all. He used to be a firefighter. He's had other jobs in his life working for CHA where he would have been allowed to carry firearms legally. Now, this ain't illegal. I heard the police officer, I think it's a police commander, that said, you know, he's a viable citizen until he's not. So what are some of the common sense laws that we can do to protect ourselves? And I know you heard a lot about now healthcare providers are going up against the NRA. You know, however that fight comes out, because that's a political fight, that's a money fight. The fight that I want to have is the fight for looking at people's mental status and status before they purchase the firearms. And I'm going to say, you know, the firearm isn't what killed the person. It's the person that used it. It's a tool. But I'm offering my solution is make them bullets so expensive that it will require such a hard line to even be able to use the tool. So let's look at other common sense laws like putting such a hefty tax on the bullets itself that go in the firearm. Maybe that's a strategy that we can use so it won't deter people who are intent, but it sure can be regulated better than what it is now. That's just one that I offer. If anybody hears that or if you got an opinion about it, 312-738-1060. And I know you're saying, well, okay, that was a violence, domestic violence. How is that public health? Well, it's public health because it is the collection of many people over time. I'm talking about this young lady, but we also know there's been some other events here in the city of Chicago of black men being gunned down by the police. I mean, those things are happening. It just happened again. And this time, the black man was a security guard. Graduated from Lane Tech, doing his right thing. He did the right thing, and they said he got shot by friendly fire. I don't know when fire is ever friendly or when it's my enemy, but when it takes you out of here, you still dead. So this friendly fire concept is ridiculous. And I'm bringing this up because the public health cry is about regulations and rules that we should be able to use to try to prevent some of these deaths that are happening. But that is our only response right now. I go deeper because in public health, I'm dealing with the mental capacity of this. And then I go deeper as an African, and I'm going to deal with the spiritual part of this. So that's where the connection comes in. That's the conundrum that we're dealing with here in the city of Chicago. So I know that this was difficult for me to do, you all. I'm going to be honest. We both said it this morning, Mr. Patton and I, we were like, are we going to really deal with domestic violence today? That's a heavy topic, especially on the eve of Thanksgiving. But it turns out that Thanksgiving is more than just about looking at me having a day off. It was about being thankful that we're still here. We're still able to fight. We're still able to have a voice. We're still able to say and advocate. And we're still able to give remembrance and solitude and condolences to those people's families who have been impacted by deaths that has occurred within the last 2 days. So I'm thankful for being able to be here and provide this dialogue with you or converse with you, or in this case, it may just be a soliloquy. And that's okay. I'm all right with that because I'm getting my voice out and I'm letting you know that I want to deal with the spiritual part of this. I want to deal with the mental health part of this and then the social policies of this. That is the layers in which I'm rolling through this. And that is how we're going to deal with domestic violence overall. Any type of violence. Doesn't matter if it's domestic, international, it's violence. Look at how we do these labels. I sometimes have to wonder, why do we differentiate so much, categorize? And it is to be able to count the data, but then that doesn't lend us to how does that solve the solution. And the solution is not going to be by counting data. The solution is going to be by dealing with the hearts and the minds of men and women, spiritual beings that are on this planet who incites this violence. Now I'm going to ask you, do you think we could ever be in a world of no violence with all these human beings? As someone has said, you know, I keep asking for animals, they keep sending me human beings. And I'm going to say to that, human beings are animals. That's why we're talking about domestic violence. If you got an opinion about that, you can call me at 312-738-1060. And I know that was a very hard statement, but this is the statement that I'm feeling right now. When they're at such low levels spiritually, you act in your spiritual body. For those of us who studied an African philosophy, we call it African spirituality. Some people refer to it as the Meduniter. I'm getting a little deep here. I don't really talk about this openly, but I ascribe to a different philosophy other than the Western religions. It's a spiritual walk within the African cosmos. And we refer to the animal man as he is Geb. And in that state, he is an animal, the animal man. And he acts out of emotions and not out of true mindfulness. He doesn't have an organization to his being. He is out of control. And that's exactly what we just saw with this actually young man who took on his fiance, who's someone who he professed he loved. And he shot her because of his anger. Now people say, well, he wanted his ring back. It had nothing to do with no ring. It had to do with his heart. And his heart was hurting. And nobody intervened to pull him back. To say, why are you taking a weapon of mass destruction up to see a woman who you have said you loved and was going to marry? Now, because you're not marrying her, you chose to act out. You are an animal. That's an animalistic behavior. And let me be clear, I'm almost on the other side of it. All animals don't act that way. Some are more intelligent than humans. Mm-hmm. That's just me on the side. I mean, that's an argument that needs to be had. But my point to you is that when you're operating at a low level of spirituality, you are allowing yourself to not be confined to that which is greater than yourself. You're not allowing your spirit to grow is what it means. And that man's spirit was not right. So that moves me to then the mental health. When your spirit ain't right, your mind ain't right. So in mental health, we talk about, in fact, I'm sorry, we shouldn't say mental health because actually it's mental illness. I see I have a caller. I want you to tell me what it is you think about this succinctly. We only have a few minutes, but let me know, caller, what you think about this.
You want to hear my truth?
I want to hear your truth, but make it brief, though. But yes, I do.
Brief. I am sick and tired. I heard what the mayor said. I heard what the superintendent allowed me to say. I think they are wimps. And I'll tell you the reason why. I like to see what this person that did this murder, I like to see the family come out and say, hey, we are ashamed. We are embarrassed. I like to see, like, when we had people that come home that was murdered, people that was in war, and the people picketed in front of their funeral. I like to see people picketed in front of these murderers' funerals because I like to see these churches stop having these services for give them these grand sort of send-off, these choirs and stuff. I like to see these churches say, no, we're not going to do this sort of thing because we're not going to facilitate this in any type of way. I'm sick of it.
That's your truth.
Picket their funerals.
Yes, sir. Yes. That's the truth. Thank you, caller. See, we got other people that say they sick of it. It's impacting all of us, you all, whether you think so or not. And I'm going to tell you truthfully, if I could, I would pull out this matrix and try to not have to deal with it. But I cannot not deal with it. I can't pull out the matrix because I'm always in it. And then unfortunately, I can't unplug them before I have to deal with it. And you heard the caller. They sick of it. I'm sick of it too. But when you're sick, what do you do, caller? What do you do, my audience? When you're sick, you look for what? Healing. That's why I was talking about the mental aid, first aid. It's a step toward healing. We got to get to the healing, y'all. That choirs and all the superintendent and all the people that's making, I don't even know if that's real treatment. But treatment is just the obvious. Healing is the part that really moves the spirit. Treatment is like the surface. Healing is the underground current. It's just like trees. I was talking about trees today. And you see the trees grow big and strong, and they got the leaves and all, they're pretty, but in the winter, it's seasonal. In the wintertime, people like, oh, all the leaves fell, all the tree looks bare, no fruit, nothing's there. And you say it's dead. But what you don't know is it's living underground. It's healing in the soil. It's living underground. And as it lives underground, it gets stronger because it's healing itself. So when the season is right, it blossoms back. See, that's true healing. That ain't treatment, y'all. And mental first aid, we need to get to them roots in the underground. We need to find out those pathways which can be healing, not treatment. Healing the mind and the spirit. And of course, the body. Body, mind, and spirit. It comes in threes, honey. That's the real Trinity. Body, mind, and spirit. And we're not getting to the mind or the spirit and having a true healing. So when it comes back in the season, it blossoms and it bears fruit. See, a tree with no fruit, with no roots, bears no fruit. Let me say it again. A tree with no roots bears no fruit. It's not possible. It's not healed. It's not blossoming. So we need to be on that. And then the next part I already talked to you about, I went from the spiritual, I did the mental first aid, and in these last few minutes we'll deal with the policies around this. We do need we do need better gun control. We do need better policies around who can and who cannot. But in the end, that gun is just a tool. It still requires a hand to pull the trigger. So let's make things more difficult for them hands getting on them triggers. I say let's go after the actual ammunition, because you can throw a gun at somebody, but you can't shoot them. So let's go after the ammunition and make the ammunition something that we can regulate, make it very difficult, make it very in other words, we can and try to entice people to not use those things unless it is absolutely necessary for their protection. I actually do think that everybody has a right to a gun. I do feel that way, whether we like it or not. I'm just one of the people who don't like it. I'm trained, but I don't have a gun in my house. I'm able to get my FOI card, but I don't have a gun in my house. But I can use one, know how to use one, and I have used them. But I was in the military, so a little bit different on that. But the point being is we do need to regulate it. We need to have better safeguards around it and treat it like the tool it is a tool of mass destruction. That tool is not always about the peacefulness of us. That tool is to bring peace. But when it doesn't bring the peace, then it brings the violence. So we have to be careful of the mindset that's behind the tool. And that's the part of the policy and health we need to deal with. We are going to be dealing with health in a bigger way. I just want to let you all know that I'm going to be a part of the BizNow's National Healthcare Midwest. This is going to be a conference that it's a one-day conference if anybody's interested. The day of the conference is Tuesday, November 27th. It's at the Lowe's Hotel. Lowe's Hotel, if you are interested and you want to come to this, you do need to call me about that and I will help you all get information. I just wanted to share with everybody that this is a national conference. I mean, we got Dr. Wynn that's going to be there. We got the Chief Medical Officer of Cook County Department of Public Health. We've got heavy hitters that are around the world that are going to be in healthcare industry, contracts, economics, and of course, we're going to be probably talking about what health equity is and isn't. So again, I hope if you can make that, I appreciate that. Again, this is Tacts. We're Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. If you want more information, you can always directly text me at 312-961-6189. Again, I am your favorite community epidemiologist, Sister Ya. And I want to thank my life partner, Mr. Charles Patton. And we are Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, here bringing you a call in live with CAN TV. Hope to see you soon, and more importantly, hope to raise your spirit and have health equity for us all. Thank you.